Hey everyone. What's going on? Thanks for hanging out today. I'm just enjoying like my third cup of coffee for today because I got the new Nespresso machine in. And even though it's been out for a little while, there's still a lot of confusion between the VertuoNext line of machines and the VertuoPlus line of machines. In each of these categories, the VertuoPlus, the VertuoNext, there's a lot of different machines in there. The VertuoNext is the latest generation of the Vertuo line from Nespresso, and it has a few distinct differences as an entire line over any of the VertuoPlus. On the VertuoPlus side, there's a whole pile of machines that has been out for a few years now, several years now, with machines from a bunch of different companies that all look super similar and have minor differences in between. But in this video, we're going to talk specifically about what's new with the VertuoNext, the whole generation of VertuoNext machines, what those differences are, why you should care, and if it is worth upgrading if you have a VertuoPlus machine, whether it's the Premium, Deluxe, or any of the other ones in between. So let's go ahead, spin it up, and talk about it. So looking at the two machines, probably the biggest thing that you need to worry about is the different brews that they can do. So they each can do 5 in common. That's going to be your espresso, double espresso, gran lungo, the coffee mug, and a alto, which is like a larger coffee cup, or like a to-go mug. That's a 14-ounce pour. So you can do those 5 across both machines. The Nespresso Vertuo Next has one additional size, which is the carafe. It's the pour-over carafe style coffee, which I think is just 18 ounces. So you've got that carafe style coffee on the Nespresso Vertuo Next, and that's the only one that can do that 18-ounce pour. You do have to have, well, you don't have to have, I guess, the whole carafe to it, but you use the special carafe pods that brews that 18-ounce coffee. That 18 ounce is about 2 to 3 cups of coffee, and you can get the carafe through Nespresso. It's this lovely glass carafe, and you've got the 2 to 3 cups in there, and you can keep pouring it until it's gone. So you have like that extended pour there. And I think it's a good value because it is that larger size. So if there's like 2 of you in your home, you got your wife and you, or you're in an office and a couple of you guys maybe share an espresso machine, you can brew an entire 18-ounce carafe and then pour it between a couple or 3 different cups. So just one pour to get all those through one pod. I really very much like that, and for certain people that is a deal breaker for any of the older ones because that carafe is going to be where it's at. So a few other things to mention that are different with this guy. Right now, the VertuoNext is very new. It came out in mid to early 2020, and it's only been around for roughly a year. So they haven't introduced very many machines. Here's the one that we have. This is the DeLonghi one. It's got the metal along the top, the metal accent there, as well as the metal pour spout and the metal stainless steel chromed cup holder. So it's like those 3 parts kind of separated out. It has a 1.1 liter water container. The older machines like the VertuoPlus line, those could vary between 1.1 to 1.8 liter containers. So this is on the smaller size as far as the water container goes, but it's very slim. It's only 5.5 inches wide. The VertuoPlus, those were getting to be about 5.6 inches and bigger, so this is the slimmest of the machines for the Vertuo line right now. But it is quite a bit deep. You can see here how that tank extends out the back, so if you have a smaller countertop, kind of like where we're putting this one, it doesn't fit super well. Some of the VertuoPlus ones, you could actually rotate that around to the sides, which was super handy to do if you had tight space and you could offset that. So something to take into consideration as far as fitting this onto your counter. The pod holder, it'll hold 10 disposed pods. That is pretty par for the course. Some of the other ones would do about the same. Some of the bigger ones, like my older machine here, this could do up to like 17 pods. It would hold quite a bit of them in the back. So you're gonna have to empty that a little bit more frequently, which I think is always good to do. You're filling up that recycle bag and sending it back to Nespresso and doing good. You're not just throwing away a bunch of pods and just polluting the environment. Finally, the last thing that I want to mention is that the VertuoNext line, it has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi built in. Now, you probably are thinking to yourself that you don't need Bluetooth or Wi-Fi in a coffee maker, and there are some nice to have features, such as the ability to like automatically order pods and stuff that way, but I think what is more key is the ability for this machine to get firmware updates. Thanks to those firmware updates, it can support additional styles, brews, and configurations of coffee that it may not support right now. Take out when that carafe style came out, you couldn't use those pods with the older machines. I'm not sure how much of a difference there was in the hardware to make that happen, but it's possible that it could have been added through that firmware update. So now that you have these machines that are connected over Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, it can download firmware updates when they become available and update your machine with fixes or support for additional styles of coffee. So that is something that I like. I feel like it gives you a little bit more of a lifespan to your machine that's a little bit future-proofed, and then it's going to support anything new that Nespresso may drop in the future. So that's it. Those are your biggest differences between the VertuoPlus and the VertuoNext line of Nespresso makers. You're going to get an additional carafe size. You have a different style of a machine. We talked about the specs there. You have Bluetooth and Wi-Fi support, and really, those are going to be your things. Those are going to be your differences. So look at those and see if it's worth it. If you got those people sharing that carafe, that may be a reason to upgrade. It may save you money in the long term by going with those single pods versus brewing 2 to 3 cups individually. But again, it's going to depend on the person. Actual coffee and flavor and everything like that, there's not a huge difference. And if you can get a good deal on a VertuoPlus machine in any configuration, if you don't need the carafes, then go with that and just go ahead and brew all day long with that guy instead. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to grab some, I got links down below in the description to all this kind of stuff, the Arachinos, the coffee, the machines, the one that I've got here, as well as the older models. Just take a look around and see if there's anything that perks your family. Look around and see if there's anything that, perks your fancy. But go ahead and let me know on Twitter as well at Andrew_OSU. I'll catch you guys in the next video.